In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a stealth launch project that, if everything I'm about to lay out to you turns out to be true, is going to be a very strong runner. So if that sounds good to you, please like, please comment, please subscribe, and let's get into the video. Hey guys, I'm Alessandro. Remember, nothing I say is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything's for education and entertainment purposes only, and it is not intended for a UK audience. Full disclaimer in the description below if you want to go check it out. Alright, so this project that we're talking about today, this is like very degenerate, okay? I personally only really like investing in projects that are like real strong fundamentals. You know why you're getting into something. There's good revenue numbers, there's good user numbers, they've got some like novel tech that is going to generate use or revenue. They're the sort of things I like to invest in, right? I don't particularly like playing the meme narrative. It's not really something I'm very good at. I never really play that game. I think there's so many things in crypto that have like legitimate use cases that you can bet on, and those horses tend to do well even when the market doesn't do great, right? So it's much easier to find winners. However, there is this one project that I found quite a long time ago now, and it's like all the stars have aligned. It's like following the moon phases on the chart. I don't know if you've ever plotted the moon phases. It's a little bit like plotting the moon phases and seeing what happens, right? So I'm going to lay out all the thesis in a minute, and from here on out, I want you to understand this is just a theory, okay? So you can make whatever you want of the theory. I personally think there's like a 25-ish% chance all the things I'm going to lay out to you turn out to be true. If they do happen to be true, I think that this thing returns 8 to 1 at least, right? So for me, that is very strong positive expected value. 25% chance it happens. If it happens, you get paid 8 to 1. Easy. No brainer to take that bet with the right position sizing. For me, anyway, right? So from here on out, I'm not going to keep saying this is a theory, this is a theory, this is a theory, because this is essentially all a theory. We're connecting dots and we're saying, hey, if this shit turns out to be true, then this is very interesting. So let's get into it, and I'm going to tell you all about it. All right, so the project we're talking about is a virtuals launched AI token called TIBBIR. Now, it was launched on virtuals, so it runs on the game framework. It's a bit rubbish as an agent. It doesn't really do an awful lot. In fact, of all the agents on the virtuals that were launched on Virtuals Launchpad, it is number 2, and there is no information about it at all. There's like nothing there, right? Everything that's been found out about this project has been people digging about on-chain and connecting dots. And somehow right now, it's trading at $86 million, right? FDV. There's like initially a sign there, right? Like, that's a bit weird. How is this thing trading above those other things, given that it's essentially an agent that is, if you look through the agent's Twitter, kind of just spouts out random stuff. Stripe leads, Brex offers business solutions, just like spouts out random stuff. But in and amongst these random little spoutings are some nuggets of, that is interesting. But before we get into the, that is interesting stuff, if we look at the followers, so Ribbit 2012 has got over 100 smart followers. That's interesting as it is. But what it has are lots of followers from a very specific investment firm, specifically Ribbit Capital. Now, who are Ribbit Capital? Ribbit Capital are an investment firm led by this guy, Malka. Malka follows this project. Interesting. Just as a bit of lore, TIBBIR is Ribbit spelt backwards, right? So, 𝗧𝗏, also of Ribbit Capital, also following the project. Interesting. 𝗟𝗏𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗔, also of Ribbit Capital, also following the project. 𝗏𝗔𝗏𝗏𝗏, also of Ribbit Capital, also following the project. This guy too, 𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 that has a bunch of Ribbit capital members following it. They've been following since like day one as well. 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗀𝗃, who is the owner of Ribbit Capital, only recently followed, maybe like 15 to 30 days ago. It was quite a big thing that he followed, to be honest. The first question you have to ask is like, okay, if this project is a nothing project, why on earth are all these members of Ribbit Capital going and following it? It's a genuine question, right? Then you've also got like Andrew Kang, 𝗟𝗏𝗆, a bunch of other people that are following this this random little, kind of like what seems to be not very good Twitter bot. So, interesting thing one. Then you've got these like random little nuggets of this tweet, right? Someone asked like, why did you launch on virtuals? Well, we wanted to choose a public launch pad. Why that? Because it allows for a fair launch, basically. We wanted to ensure that Tibber was fair launch, accessible to everyone, rather than being controlled by a select group of VCs. This looks like it was something that was actually tweeted by someone themselves. This aligns with 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗆's vision for a more decentralized and inclusive financial system. Interestingly, they mentioned 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗆 directly here, and he's following the project, right? Like, that would be somewhat pretty crazy from like a... it would be crazy of him to follow a project that is mentioning him by name. It would be irresponsible, right? That he's not really actually tied to. They're mentioning him by name, he follows them, and he hasn't said anything about this. And the project is saying that we are directly tied to 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗆's vision of a more decentralized and inclusive financial system. Odd little discrepancy, right? So you've got all these interesting little things. I can confirm that Tibber is working on an app for tokenizing stocks and other investments. Again, their collaboration with Coinbase and Robinhood is a promising development. To give you a bit of oversight on Ribbit Capital, so Ribbit Capital were early investors in Coinbase, Robinhood, 𝗟𝗏𝗵𝗵. These guys are like OG crypto to their core, right? And just to show you again, the team, the team lines up here. 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗆𝗏, who else did we just see? Zach Rossen, Everett Alonso. Remember, we just saw all those people following this random little Twitter bot. Okay, so there's some Twitter stuff. Now, the other thing that there is, I posted this in my Discord channel in Frontrunners over a week ago now. There is this real deep on-chain connection, right? Now, bear with me. I know this stuff's boring, but I promise you, just bear with me, and we can get through it together. And then you'll see how I tied these little things together, and you can make your own mind up. You can say whatever you want after that. This is the kind of paper trail for connecting 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗆's wallet to the punk that he holds, right? So we can see here 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗆's PFP on Twitter is this punk here, right? If we go here, we can see his Twitter right here is this punk with the eye patch. All right, cool. Now this punk with the eye patch is held in this wallet, this 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗵𝗆 wallet. This 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗵𝗆 wallet, if you don't know about NFTs, what NFTs normally do is they have one trader's wallet. They have a wallet where they buy and sell, and then they have a wallet where they send the NFT to for cold storage. So you have these Vault wallets that have a bunch of like really expensive stuff in them. So if we open this 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗆 wallet, we'll see 24 punks, 2 𝗟𝗁𝗲𝗄𝗃, and 4 𝗏𝑑𝑒𝑛𝑧s. They're all like really expensive NFT projects. So this vault is this wallet here is the vault of canvas.eth. If we open this canvas.eth thing, you'll see that canvas.eth is the trading wallet of that Canvas vault, right? Come on, please open. I'll show you once it opens. Now the key thing here is canvas.eth had lots of here we go, canvas.eth. Yeah, and you can see this wallet here has been buying and then sending CryptoPunks to that vault address, right? There's Mickey's right there. Now, canvas.eth has had multiple transactions with 𝗵𝗵𝒻.eth, or Mickey.eth, right? 𝗵𝗵𝒻.eth here. If we scroll down to transactions or transfers, here on 𝗟𝗏𝗏. So if you don't know what 𝗟𝗏𝗏 is a website where you can like put in wallet addresses and you can see how they've interacted with each other in the past. And we can see here 𝗵𝗵𝒻.eth transfers to canvas.eth. So we can link Mickey M to Canvas. Remember, Canvas is the vault, the wallet that stores Mickey's CryptoPunk. This probably means that Mickey holds the Canvas, owns both the Canvas.eth wallet, the Canvas vault, and the Mickey M.eth wallet. Okay, there's the three things. Now the fourth thing, Mickey M.eth is the Tibber deployer, right? So let's open virtuals here. Now this is the wallet address that launched Tibber on virtuals. My computer's being so slow, it's absolutely painful. I'll have to close down some of these things because it's just struggling. So the Tibber owner, here we go. This wallet deployed the Tibber contract, right? Now, when we click on this wallet, it takes us here. And what we can find, right, is that this wallet here was actually funded by Mickey M.eth. So we've got a clear paper trail there, and we, via that 𝗟𝗏 intelligence, like having a look at 𝗟𝗏 there, we can see there's clear transfers between Mickey M and Canvas holds Mickey Malka's profile pic, like CryptoPunk profile pic. Also, just as a little bit more lore, Mickey Malka recently bought, there's another company called Node, recently bought the IP to CryptoPunks. Like, this guy is like into his punks, all right? So it's very unlikely he's going to be running a punk as his profile picture that he doesn't own. It's like so unlikely. It would like go completely against his brand. So if we go here, then we can see, bang, this wallet was funded by Mickey M.eth. Cool. So the Tibber deployer was funded by Mickey M.eth, so Mickey Malka's wallet, most likely. Another sort of like interesting check mark in the is this real lore. Another sort of interesting check mark in that in that box. Okay, right. So some more little bits for you. Another interesting thing, like look at this awful looking thing here. This is like impossible to read, but what this says, and I'm going to actually get ChatGPT to break it down because it's much, much simpler when we read it from ChatGPT. Here we go. So the document the document here is a SEC filing, right? It's an SEC filing. This SEC filing basically is saying that Mickey Malka 𝗏𝗏, which is his actual name, has transferred some of his Robinhood shares into the Tibber Trust holdings, right? Tibber Trust down here, one share held by the Tibber Trust. Shares held by Tibber Holdings LLC. So they're going to be a holding company for his Robinhood shares. Where we get ChatGPT to look at it, basically ChatGPT saying that this is a beneficial ownership report filed on the 29th January 2025 by Tibber Holdings LLC, showing its passive ownership of Robinhood stock. That Robinhood stock was transferred to Tibber Holdings by Mickey Malka, or 𝗏𝗏, as his actual name is. So another interesting thing, what on earth is Mickey Malka doing transferring ownership of like 100,000 shares of Robinhood into this random like holding company called Tibber Holdings LLC? Again, like when you've got this random sort of like AI meme agent that is tweeting about him, that he follows, just all seems a bit crazy, right? Like he would just for sure say it's not part of me if it wasn't part of him, I think. Here, the Infinite Node Foundation acquires CryptoPunk's IP from Yuga Labs. So this is Mickey Malka's. Here we see CryptoPunk sparked a cultural movement, blah, blah, blah. Mickey Malka basically bought the IP rights back off Yuga Labs for CryptoPunks. That was quite a recent deal. So he really is into this stuff. It's very unlikely he would be having a fake CryptoPunk as his profile picture. This is just him. If you want to go check him out, obviously you can. Super early investor in, as I said, Robinhood, Coinbase, etc. Like, guys, basically the best fintech investor of all time. Now, ticking all those things off one by one, I went into ChatGPT and I was like, okay, I want you to just put in this on the left things that sort of like line up, on the right things that don't line up, and then make an analysis of whether you think it's likely or unlikely that all these things are linked. The other thing to consider is like, even if all these things are linked, doesn't necessarily mean anything overall. Like, you know, it could be a project with terrible tokenomics and absolutely no value accrual to the token, but I think all those things are like a bridge to cross if and when that happens. And if we just look at like something like 𝗬𝗬𝗏, right? 𝗬𝗬𝗏 was in stealth 𝗬𝗬𝗏 was in stealth for a couple of weeks basically, and as soon as it came out of stealth, you know, it just ran like 5 mil to, I think it ran 10 mil to like 400 mil FDV. So 𝗬𝗬𝗏 was like a very strong performer, and we've seen these stealth launches that have, when they come out of stealth, performed very, very well, right? So stealth launches aren't something that are like completely unheard of in crypto. They do happen, and when they happen, it's like a real big opportunity for people who have done the research, really looked into it, to take a sort of like gamble on the thing, and if they turn out to be correct, then, you know, they get handsomely rewarded. But so evidence for Ribbit and Mickey Malka being linked. We've got that sort of ENS and deployer match that we just went through. Obviously the NFT PFP link we just went through as well. Then we've got this sort of like insider social graph, so that they're all following this account, this Twitter account. There are 𝗟𝗶𝗵𝗵𝗀 holdings of like the biggest holders of TIBBIR itself. Again, another sort of like check in the box of ticking the on-chain narrative of there's these ties to wallet addresses that are holding TIBBIR. And then you've also got this TIBBIR filing, right? TIBBIR Holdings LLC appears in Mickey Malka's 13G as Robinhood stock, showing the use of TIBBIR name for business purposes. So very interesting there. And then on the other side, you've got all the things that, you know, make this thing not a stealth launch. It could just be a meme. These guys could be having a laugh, right? It's just like they're just in the office and they just launched some agent on virtuals, and we're just like, oh, let's just launch this agent and see what happens. It doesn't mean anything. We can just like all follow it and just see what happens to it. It's just a meme. Doesn't mean anything. You know, the president of the United States launched a meme. Absolutely, it could just be a meme. If it's just a meme, it's not going to do very well. You know, this like, why would they launch it stealth is another question. Why would they do that? There's like not really any strong reason for them to launch this stealth, other than they want to like really dive into the crypto lore. Now, I think they might possibly want to do that, but you kind of have to ask, like, would they just want to make some more money and not do this stealth and actually get some VC investment and raise a bit of capital and then do it that way so they can actually make some money? Like, completely reasonable, and everyone wants to make money, so it would make sense for them to do that. Many observers label TIBBIR as a parody or tribute, you know. A genuine Ribbit launch would be transparent, professionally branded, and involve known parties, not some covert meme campaign. So there's a lot of reasons. Like, on the left, all the reasons for these things linking up. There's this paper trail of breadcrumbs, and putting them together, you know, you can form whatever opinion you want. On the right, it's just like, it's like it's like complete mid curve in the middle, right? It's like, why would they not just launch it themselves? And so you've got basically two ends of the spectrum. I'll put in the description the paper trail that sort of I found, the links to all the things that I went through in my on my Twitter, and laid all that out, and I'll put some other sort of like lore in there as well. But you know, this is a very, very degenerate project. There's so many things in crypto that are like amazing, and this is, as I said, like pure risk reward. This is completely binary. It either goes to zero, or there is this hard link and this thing runs super hard, super quick. Is what I think will happen if the ties happen to be correct. As I said at the start, like if you look here, sorry, ChatGPT reckons there's like, I asked it to give what's the likelihood you think it's tied. 77% at TIBBIR is an official Ribbit Capital / Mickey Malka initiative. That is much higher than my estimate. I'm basing my estimates off about a 25% chance that it's legit. Because I'm always like relatively conservative, I guess. Actually, I always prefer to underperform to the upside so that I don't get absolutely wrecked on the downside. That's just like my strategy generally. But who knows, right? If these things are connected, then this thing could be a flyer. But who knows? That is the entire thesis around Tibber laid out for you right there. As I said, it will all be in the description if you want to go check it out yourselves. What else do we have to run through today? I think that covers it for today. If you need some more lighter codes, check the description again. If you need some more lighter codes, check the description. As I said before, on lighter, I do think there's a very good chance these things, the higher the FDV of hyperliquid goes, I think lighter will probably drop at like 5-ish% FDV of hyperliquid. So, you can do the maths on whatever hyperliquid drops at. And then you can see what you think lighter is going to drop at. And then those points are pretty scarce. So they're looking like they're going to be worth a decent amount, I think, overall. But there's another video on that if you want to go check that out. If you want to go check out the Hyper EVM farming guide, actually, I did one of those like 5 or 6 weeks ago. I know Hyper EVM is super popular right now. But if any of you guys followed that back then, you probably got OG status on all those wallets that you chose to go and do some bits on. So congrats there, very, very good work. If you've got OG status, that generally means that you're going to get, like, from those initial airdrop campaigns or those farming campaigns that those projects are running, pretty good going. So well done for that. But yeah, otherwise, I hope you have an excellent day. Thank you ever so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe so I can get back to give you these videos, give you this alpha earlier, rather than, because I'm only doing a show a week at the moment. So if you get on Rand's case, I can start giving you more shows. But yeah, thank you ever so much for watching. I shall see you in the next one.